This was sent in to CornyDriveThru at gmail.com from Christopher K. What's the reason for pay-per-views being on Sunday? Seems like Saturday night would be the best night.
Actually, it comes from, as I recall, in the early days of pay-per-view, from thinking that most people don't go out on Sunday night. Therefore, you don't want to do something that's on television that requires people to stay home on Friday and Saturday night, because that's the nights that they go out most of the time. You wanted something where they would be home, which is usually Sunday night, because everybody's got to go to work Monday morning or school Monday morning or whatever. That's in a lot of cases the reasons that I heard back 30 years ago when it first got started. Of course, now, they've killed pay-per-view for wrestling at least, so it doesn't really matter, but everybody does all. And then a couple of the early ones were on holidays, regardless of what night it was on. But then WCW fucked that up by moving Starrcade. The first year we actually did it on pay-per-view was in 87, but there was almost no clearance, right? And that was the one from Chicago. Well, in 88, it was from Norfolk, Virginia, but they moved it to, I think it was it the day after Christmas? It was some fucking odd day in December instead of Thanksgiving night, and it never recovered. So, I think that's the way it started, and it's just kind of become a tradition.
If you were running one of the big companies, I know AEW has done their big shows on Saturdays. WWE continues to do them on Sundays. Obviously, viewing habits have changed. People attending live shows have changed. Everything's really changed since 30 years ago. What night would be your night to pick if you had to pick a night to do a big show on pay-per-view?
Well, AEW probably does theirs on Saturday night because they want to draw a decent-looking crowd in the building. And they're still, let's face it, the more shows they do, the more they're going to need the benefit of a Saturday night. They're not just going to be able to go out there on fucking, as Wednesday is already showing, when they ain't filling up a lot of these places. The WWF, they don't care. The WWF doesn't anymore. They're not even doing a pay-per-view. It's just a big event. So they could do Tuesday at 4 PM. It wouldn't make a fuck, probably. I think Saturday nights always seem like a big live event, but I don't have a problem if you can fill a building up on Sunday, and there probably still are more people at home that would either watch on pay-per-view or on the internet. If anybody's watching a goddamn big wrestling show on their fucking phone, I don't know what to tell you about how stupid you are, because goddamn, these are not made to watch on fucking screens 4 inches across. If you can't either record it or watch it live at home, what the fuck you're watching? Who wants to watch Star Wars on a phone screen as big as their fucking palm of their hand? That is the stupidest shit, watching fucking TV on your phone. Anyway, I remember when I had a TV that only had a screen as big as the palm of my hand, because that's all I could afford. I'm not going to spend 5 times as much money on one 40 years later. What was the question?
When did you have a pocket TV?
No, it actually, I'll tell you exactly when. In 1979, I started going on the road to Evansville and to all of Christine Jarrett's spot shows. In Evansville, my mom sold the gimmicks. I was doing photography. I would also carry the music and play the music for guys that were starting to have entrance music, Lawler and Valiant and a few other guys. And then on the Thursday night spot shows, I was the ring announcer. So I was definitely playing the music. So I got this, it was the size of a briefcase, and it was an all-in-one unit. It had a cassette tape, it had a TV, it had an AM/FM radio receiver, and what I would do, and you could also record. It had a microphone jack. So I would take this thing to the matches. I would tape all the interviews with all of the guys for 60-second radio spots on cassette for Christine's upcoming spot shows. And then I'd take those home and I'd edit them into specific individual spot tapes for blah, 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 and label them for the towns and bring them the following day or whatever. I'd usually do that in Evansville. I'd play the music off of the cassette player by holding the PA mic up to the speaker. And then sometime you could play the radio over the same way for when the people are coming in. And then after the show on the way home, if my mom was driving, depending on what part of Kentucky or Indiana we were in, I could even pick up one of Nick's wrestling shows from Bowling Green, Kentucky on Channel 13 on the little portable battery-operated TV with the 3-inch screen on the way back home. So I got a ton of use out of that.
How much was it?
As I recall, in 1979, I think I paid a little over $200, which would probably
Not bad.
it'd probably be about, what, $600, $650 today. But, you know, they didn't have those things back then regularly.